Good morning, good afternoon, whatever coast or time span you may be on, but probably more than likely good afternoon. I hope you guys' week has gotten off to an excellent start. It's another beautiful Monday, and we are here, of course, with my plate, my choice. Um, of course, it goes without saying, but I'm always say it. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you guys for coming to class because I consider this to be class, right? So I appreciate you guys for coming into class and making this space what it is for us to grow and bond and just share with each other. So man, I appreciate that 1,000 times over. But I do want to get into it. I don't want to belabor the point. I want to get right into it today. My plate, my choice. Last week we kind of talked about this idea or concept of delusion and being delusional, and then we also talked about self-care, and I expounded on kind of both of those aspects. But I want to build on that just a little more today. So if you guys will give me a little latitude to kind of work within that space. I do want to say this, and I will say this probably multiple times today. All right, because I know you may think like, all right, so the show is called My Plate, My Choice. Some days we talk about food, some days we talk about the mental aspect of it. Some days we talk about the health part of it because there is so much more that goes into your overall health than just what's on your plate. But your plate is a big part, right? Your nutrition is more than what's on your plate. It's so much more than what's on your plate. So I can't just talk about food each and every week because there's more to this than just food, all right? So let's talk about delusion. I want to give you two definitions to get into it, right? Two definitions to get into it. First, the definition of delusion. Delusion is the act of tricking or deceiving someone. Delusion, the act of tricking or deceiving someone, all right? And then I want to talk about change. Change, two definitions for change. Definition one, to make different. Definition two, to give a different position, change course, or direction. All right, so I'll give you both of those one more time, real quick. All right. So, delusion is the act of tricking or deceiving someone. So, table that definition. And then the definition of change, two parts. Part A or part one, to make different. Part two, to give a different position, change course, or direction. Got it? That's where we are. So I need you to kind of table both of those ideas because those will kind of give us some framework for where we're going to go today. All right. So listen, I can talk to you guys straight, right? I felt you say yes. I can be honest with you guys, right? I felt you say yes again. So let's get into it. Delusion sets in if you believe that you will hope your way to the life that you desire. I'll say it again. Delusion sets in if you believe that you will hope your way to the life that you desire. That's delusional because hope won't get you there. My uncle used to say, hope is not a strategy. It will never get you there. You cannot hope yourself into a different position. You can help, HELP, yourself into a different position, but you cannot hope yourself there. There's some action that has to happen, okay? You've got to decide the version. Well, listen, let me break it down. You see the version of you that you desire, but you believe one day it will happen. And that's where the delusion is really and it's working to the highest power. All right. So you see the version of you that you desire. Everybody can see it. You can close your eyes and you can see the version of you that you desire. You know what your body looks like. You know what kind of or what size dresses or outfits you wear. Like you can see that, right? You can see it. But the delusion is believing that one day it will happen. That's where delusion comes in. All right. I'll give you two quick quotes that I like. And I'll repeat them so you can write them down if you want to. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. I'm sure you've heard that one before. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. You'll see where I'm going. Just work with me for a second. Quote number two. It takes as much energy to wish as it does to plan. It takes as much energy to wish as it does to plan. Think about that, right? Because the plan is essential for where we're going. The plan is essential for where we're going. But a lot of times we just, man, I hope I'm gonna replace wish with hope. Man, I hope it's gonna happen. I hope it's gonna get there. The same mental energy that you are putting into hope and visualizing everything attached to the hope, you could have easily mapped out a plan. You could have easily mapped out a plan. I need you to understand having a plan is scriptural. Habakkuk 2:2. Write the vision and make it plain. That is scriptural. You cannot plan to be somewhere without first writing down a plan. You don't have a plan to get there if you don't have a plan first. Think about it. There's no way you can have a plan to get from point A to point B if you don't truly have a plan. And that's the issue. See, delusion is we desire to be somewhere, but we're not willing to put in the work to get there. Change is only going to happen when we start to put action behind what was first made as a plan or what was first laid out as a plan. But we don't like the plan because a plan forces us to be accountable. A plan forces us to be bold. A plan forces us to go outside of our comfort zone. A plan forces us to not just talk about it, to really be it, to really live that, right? A plan. Don't be afraid of the plan. Don't be afraid to write down. Let me ask you this. How can you tell me that is a true desire of yours if you will not write it down on paper? You won't map out what your plan is? I'll tell you me, right? So there was a time in my life where I had goals, like true goals. Not saying I don't have goals now, but these specific goals. And one of them was fitness. One of them was my health, like where I wanted to be health wise, right? And so I took the time. I got my notepad on my iPhone, and I just started going. Right. I started outlining plans. I wrote plans for the year. I think the year was 2021. It was 2021 or 2022. Right. So I pinned like what my plans were for the year, and I have a iPad pen or whatever, right? And I wanted to use this one specifically so that when I saw my plans, they were truly handwritten, like it was me, like whatever little notes I wanted to jot, I wanted to see that, right? So I pinned out my plans, and it's cool to do that, right? It's cool to write a plan, but some of us write a plan and then forget where we put the plan. So now the plan becomes non-existent because you're not even faced to see it. You're not even faced to look at, you're not even forced to look at the plan. You're not even forced to come face to face with the plan on a regular basis to remind you of what you said you wanted to do. So what did I do? I took a screenshot. Once I pinned out those plans for the year, I took a screenshot. That screenshot was my screensaver for my phone. Absolutely. So every time I opened up my phone, I had to first start with looking at those plans. I had a daily, I mean, you think about how many times a day you are in your phone. I had a daily reminder of what my plans were. So that helped me to hold myself accountable because nobody else wrote those plans. I wrote those plans. Nobody else said, hey, this is where you got to get to. I said, this is where I had to get to. I said that. So it was no longer just unfulfilled words. Now I was forced to put action behind something that I saw. And the crazy part is, you know about screensavers, you're oftentimes around people and they can see your screensavers. So people may ask me about, man, what is this? Like what's that say? Because you couldn't really see it, you know what I'm saying, unless you were just like really on top of it, but you could tell it was something that I wrote out. So he said, okay, well, what is that? So now I'm forced to again come face to face and create another accountability partner because now I had to tell you what a couple of my plans were. So if you saw me not living what I said that I desired to live, that gave you free reign to check me on it. Hey, didn't you say you were going to stop? Hey, didn't you say you were going to start? Hey, didn't you say you needed to? Right? But that starts with making, right? The Habakkuk 2:2. Write the vision, make it plain. You have a vision for yourself as far as your body goes and your overall health. Write it down. Write it down. What dress size do you want to be in? I got you. What dress size? Yeah. What dress size? Don't say the modest version that you feel like it's not too hard. What do you really want to get to? Guys, you tired of having what I call the black man stomach, where you slim and you just got a stomach that sit out here. Okay, how are we going to address that? No. Let's put it down. How are we going to address it? Stop being afraid to write down the plan. That is step one. Write down the plan. Hey, I'm gonna stay. I am no longer going to eat fried food. Like I cannot do it. I cannot eat fried food. You know what I'm saying? Or even if you just say, okay, fried food on Fridays. Every Friday I can go to Green Acres and get 6 whole wings all the way. Because if you're not getting them all the way, I don't know what you're doing. So I'm gonna get 6 whole wings all the way with a side of fries. If that's just every Friday, cool. Then that means hold yourself accountable. On Monday through Thursday, we should not see you at Green Acres. On Saturday or Sunday, I don't know what days they're open. I know they're open on Saturday. I don't think they're open on Sunday. But anyway, like write down the vision, write down the desire. See, you have to think about it. Principles, we are built on principles. So you can't tell me that writing down a vision and making it plain applies to your finances, and it applies to the business, and it applies to school for you, and it applies to your children, but it does not apply to your health. Come on now. Let's be for real. It applies to your health also. But see, we want to operate in this place of delusion. We don't really want to come face to face with where we are or where we are not. But it's okay. You have to start somewhere. I had a coach tell me one time, he said, you cannot do a marathon without having step one first. I'm just sharing that with you. You cannot complete a marathon, right? And I did a half marathon, 13.1. Full marathon is 26.2. He said, you cannot complete the marathon without step one. You got to take the first step. So I'm saying this to you. Let's take the first step. Okay, you don't know. I got you. Do you know that where we are right now, there are 107 days till year 2025. There's 107 days until year 2025. Now, what happens at the end of the year? Oh man, we got all these goals. Oh man, here's what I'm going to start doing. Oh man, I'm going to do this differently. Stop lying. And I know that you're lying because you wait till January to say what you're going to do, which means you are putting off time that you have right now. And this is valuable time. 107 days. We're not waiting until 2025 to start. We're going to start now. Write down the vision. Write it down. Health wise, what do you desire to see? I'm going to get out and walk 3 days a week. Write it down. And don't only write it down, put it somewhere where you have to see it. Set alarms in your phone. If you're gonna go walk every day at 12:30 on your lunch break, set an alarm that pops up on your phone and say, hey, it's time to walk. Be accountable. Write it down, and then now let's start planning out actions that correlate with what the plan was or the plan is currently. But set a reminder. Right? If you are working at an office, put it on your desk. If you work from home, put it in your home office. I don't care. Put down the plan somewhere that you have to constantly come face to face with it because you need that reminder. Repetition is key. One of my clients asked me in the gym this morning, she said, George, why do I have to do so many of these? I said, repetition is key. You want something to change, you got to work it. You got to work it. I'm fascinated with like military movies and shows, right? And so there's this particular show I love to watch, and it's about Navy SEALs. And they always have this saying when they're faced with a problem, they say, work the problem. That means don't complain about it, figure out a solution, work the problem. So I'm saying to you, you know what the problem is, work the problem. I'm here to tell you today there's nothing wrong with you. There's absolutely nothing wrong. You don't have a deficiency. There's not an underlying reason as to why you can't do something. The problem is you making a decision to do it. And check this word out: be consistent. Be consistent. Be consistent. I started this journey in 2020. I started this journey in 2020. And I was reminded in a conversation yesterday, 2020. And we are going into 2025. And I had to be honest and be like, dang, bro, you have legit been consistent with this going on 5 years. And I love it. And I love the results. I love the results. And you will too. It's not gonna happen overnight. It's not gonna be easy. But continue to work the problem. Continue to work the problem. Funny in my notes, I said, I want to change. I want to stop. I want. How many times do we say that? Man, I really want to be better. All right. I'm gonna do better next week. Okay. I'm gonna start. Okay, what days? I'm gonna start on Monday. Like we have all. I'm going to. Stop. Just do it. Take some time out. You have 24 hours in a day. Take some time out to put it down. Take some time out and put it down. Appreciate that. Take some time out and put it down. Put it down. Write it down. It's only going to take you 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. Put it down on paper. Map it out. And then start to follow it. Start to follow it. Have somewhere where you can look at it. So when you get around people that aren't doing the same thing you're doing, you have a reminder. I got to work on this. I told myself enough is enough. I told myself that no, I cannot continue to be that person. Enough is enough. We got to do this. We have to do this. All right. Here you go. Don't worry. I got you guys. Let me say this. I'm going to share with you guys a quick story. A quick story. All right. I always talk about my own experiences, right? But this isn't that kind of story, right? So listen. So I can remember, my dad has shared this story from the stage. Our pastor, he shared this story from stage. So there was a time where I had braces when I was younger. Like I think I got him in the seventh grade. Yeah, I got him in the seventh grade, and I got him off like mid eighth grade year. So I had him like a year and a half. Okay, and and then my dad ended up getting braces several years later. Right now, I knew like when I had braces, it when I would get them when you would go to get your braces tightened up, right? You would do that once a month. You go get them tightened up. And the day I got them tightened up would be like a lot of pain in my mouth that particular day. But after that day, it would be fine. There really wasn't any more pain. I had just gotten used to it, and that was that, right? Literally, that only 24-hour cycle. And then my dad got braces, so I was kind of giving him some pro tips about braces and things like that. And he was talking about how he was in pain, and I think the conversation spawned from him asking me like how many days was I in pain or how long would my mouth hurt because he had days where he couldn't eat. His mouth was so sensitive. And I told him, and you're gonna think this is a joke. And like I say, he shared this from stage, but I was really being serious. I was like, Dad, you're older, like you're old at that time. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, you're old, like you got to think about it. Your teeth have been set in in that position and in those ways for a way longer time than mine. So it was really nothing for my teeth to kind of snap back and move into place. It's gonna take some, baby. They doing some real pulling in your mouth because your teeth have been that way for a long time. So why is that story important for what we're talking about? Here's why. You, the older you get, the harder it's gonna get. And I'm just gonna be honest with you about it. The older you get, the harder this process gets. But it doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means you have to put in more effort. And I'm gonna tell you something about effort. You cannot buy effort. You cannot buy effort. Effort is in here. Effort is in here. Effort is how bad do you really want that? Effort is how are you really tired of hurting all the time? Are you really tired of trying to act like you like the person you see in the mirror, but you don't because you know that's not a good version of you? That's not the you that you want to continue to put out. Your resume is really a highlight of all the things that you've done well, right? And when you're applying for a job, you are essentially presenting them with a highlight of all the things I've done great on previous jobs or, in life, degrees and things of that nature. You're giving them a highlight of what you have done well. My question to you is, what highlight are you presenting yourself as it pertains to this? What are you presenting to self as it pertains to this? What can you show yourself? Well, I did this well how many years ago? How long ago? Right? Do you want everything to be past tense? I wrote a question. I don't even have to look at it. I said, when was the last time you represented the best version of you? When was the last time you represented the best version of yourself? Not the version that you tried to sell yourself. Okay, this is good. Okay, I like it right here, but you don't really like it there. There is uncomfortable. There is unhealthy. There is not a good version of you, but you don't want to put in the work to get past that. Let's be honest. Stop being delusional. We got to stop being delusional. All right? We have to stop being delusional. I'll tell you this. Um, my for me, and the reason why I said that statement, the older you get, the harder it gets, right? Because I know for me, getting up and moving around in my 20s was easy. Like I could do it in my sleep. I could function on very minimal sleep and pop up and go have a full functioning day, whatever. In my 20s, right? In my 20s. And then one of the guys from church, I'll never forget, he pulled me aside. I think I was like 28. And he was like, hey, when you turn 30, it's gonna hit different. I'm like, not me, bro. I'm good, right? I'm good. No, 30s hit, and he wasn't lying. It just started hitting different, right? And I'll be 36 here real soon. So we're just gonna say I'm 36 now. And it takes a lot more effort for me to move. Like I know, like people see me and they think it's easy because it's something I just do, but I just stick to my routine. At all costs, I stick to my routine because I know where I came from and I also know what I refuse to go back to. So my desire to be comfortable and my desire to work is greater than my desire to go back to where I came from, right? So I'm saying like now that movement, me getting up and getting active and doing the things that it takes to maintain my fitness level and doing the things that it takes to maintain, good health. Like, yeah, it's harder. And there are some of you that are older than me. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's harder. But I'm here to tell you that you can do this. Yeah, you can do this. You just have to stick to it. Let me be your motivation if I need to. You can do it. I promise you, it is just a process, but it's no different than the process to graduate from school or graduate from college or you working towards a promotion at a job and earning that promotion and the level of achievement that you face or you doing anything in life where people told you that you couldn't. Yeah, we all can share that common bond. There were things in life that people said we couldn't do, and we did it against all costs. We did it. So I'm here to tell you this is no different. You can push through and get it done. You have to first sit down and outline the plan. How do I want to approach this? Bro, listen, we when we get into the new year, we will have been doing this a year in January, I believe. Been doing this a year. Now I tell you, I have people all the time that stop me and they tell me about different changes they made and they tell me about like how they feeling and that's great. I'm thankful for them, right? But there's still more out there. There's still more of us who and there are more changes that we can make. Like it starts small. We change this, okay, boom, saw growth from that. Let's make another change. Saw growth from that. Let's make another change, right? You're going to have setbacks. I'm not gonna lie to you. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to have days where you're frustrated, but go back to the plan. All right, man, I messed up and I did this, but all right, what did I say I was gonna do? Boom. All right, starting tomorrow, I'm right back on it. I'm right back on it. I'm right back on it. No questions. I'm right back on it. I know what my plan is. If you know what your plan, it's kind of like this. I see people that come in the gym all the time, and I know that they're I get frustrated because they really are in the way. Because you come in the gym and you just kind of looking around and you trying to figure out what you're gonna do in the gym. Like, that tells me right there you don't have a plan. You don't have a plan. You just come in here to check a box. I came to the gym, but you didn't have a plan, which means your time in the gym really was counterproductive because you didn't really work on anything that advanced you from point A to point B. A plan is what you need. And I'm sharing that with you today. If you don't hear anything else, hear the fact that I need to sit down and make a plan for my desires, my health goals. Make a plan. All right? So listen, two things and I'm done. Delusion is you attempting to convince yourself you are happy where you are because you don't want to do the work to truly reach your goal. Delusion is you attempting to convince yourself that you are happy where you are because you don't want to do the work to truly reach the goal. That is the definition of delusion. As basic as I can tell you. You keep convincing yourself that I'm happy where I am. No, you are not. You just don't want to do the work. I love the skin I'm in. You got you, yeah, you love it, but because it's you, you better love yourself. But do you truly love where you are? The answer more than likely is going to be no. No. So let's address the problem. What did I say? Let's work the problem. We know what the problem is. Let's work the problem. Start with a plan. Start with a plan. You're sitting on the equipment playing on your phone. Absolutely. You listen, Miss Smith, listen, you feel my pain, right? You are sitting on the equipment playing on your phone. Yo, yo, yo. Some of us really got a plan. Some of us really got something to do here. I need you to move out the way so I can execute. I need you to move out the way. I'm trying to execute my plan. You playing, and I don't have time to play. That has to be the approach. Again, 107 days left in this year. You can change a lot. You can change a lot. You can set a great foundation that you springboard into the next year on. 107 days. What will you do with them? Do you all realize that, like, it's literally, it just feels like time is like zipping by, zipping by. Like, I'm like, dang, bro, it feels like we just got into September and we're at the halfway point of September today or yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. We're at the halfway point of September. It feels like September just started. Time is moving. Are you, though? Are you moving forward? Are you executing a plan? Are you moving forward? If you haven't been, it's fine. We cannot go back and undo the past. We cannot, but we can sure as heck control the future. So let's do it. Let's do it. Today is 12/27. Sometime between 12/27, which is now, and before you go to bed, be honest with yourself. Don't be delusional. Map out the plan. What do you want to do going forward? Map out the plan. So now that you have mapped out the plan, starting on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, September the 17th, we're going to start to execute. And when we come back again, we're going to talk about execution. We're going to talk about execution, and we're going to keep talking about execution until you get tired of it. Because I'm telling you, I am here to push you to be greater. I sit here with you every Monday to help you be greater. That's it. I have no other desire than to help you be the best version of you that you can be. That's it. All right, listen. Um, Last but not least, a plan is your friend. It holds you accountable. Excuse me. A plan is your friend. It holds you accountable. And at some point, I have to be honest about my plans and where I am. A plan is your friend. It holds you accountable. And at some point, I have to be honest about my plans and where I am. That's it. Like, you have to be honest. Hey, we can't keep being delusional. And we won't keep being delusional. Those days are over. Now we have a plan in place. We got the format, right? We got the format. So now we'll put the plan together and then we execute. Put the plan together and we execute. Got it? Remember, Habakkuk 2:2, write the vision and make it plain. That is scriptural. It's no way that I can think that I can work another way that goes against the scripture. The scripture said, write the vision and make it plain. So I'm going to start there. And then keep that plan in front of you. I don't care if you take a, I don't listen. I had to be honest about something God called him to question me on. He questioned me on something that I said I was going to do that I wasn't doing. So I had to get real with myself and I had to put it in front of me. I had to put it in front of me because I need that reminder. So I'm telling you, write the plan, put it in front of you. I don't care about people asking you about it. When they ask you about it, invite them to come get with you. Invite them. Yeah, this is what I'm doing. Man, why you didn't ask me? All right, here's your opportunity. Come. But listen, I'm serious. I'm not here to play. I'm not here to play. That's what you got to tell them. That's what you got to tell yourself. I'm not here to play. I'm here to do this. All right. Hey, I appreciate y'all tuning in. I will catch you guys next week, man. You all.